So Brent Venables has made some very public mistakes in the beginning 10 years of his time here at Oklahoma that has reverberated all the way to where he's at now, which is quote unquote the hot seat. Now he's trying to fix a lot of that, and the latest set of changes on the coaching side may assist in that. Let me explain to you the mistakes I feel like he made coming in and what these additions on the coaching staff could do to help fix some of those problems and hopefully lead to a better season. So let's dive into that. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. This video is powered by our partners at BetUS. Check them out. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. So it's been a bit. Took some time off. Then I was sick. Now we're back. We were live on Sunday. Go ahead and check out that live stream. And you can kind of see us chopping it up. Just a little bit of ball talk. But I wanted to dive into where I felt like Brent Venables made his initial mistakes. We talked about this in the past, but I want to break that down a little bit more in detail. And then what these new hires that have happened, how I feel like they can help fix the sins of the beginning. So let's first start off. Brent Venables being hired. He comes in, he brings the entire roughly defensive staff there at Clemson, besides Wes Goodwin. He's the only one that stuck back for the most part. But he brought in a lot of defensive folks because the main thing coming in was need to fix the defense here at Oklahoma. The defense had seen a decline over the years, and the goal was to get them up and running. The offense came in, brought in Jeff Lebby, and Lebby did a really good job initially. Lebby had the offense still humming, top 20, and then finished top 4 his second season in. And, of course, Lebby leaves. Now, you may think that, okay, the big mistake was hiring Seth Littrell at offensive coordinator. That was more of an additional piece of errors that he made that should have been fixed before even getting to Seth Littrell. The biggest thing that Brent Venables did to me that put him in a very rocky road here at Oklahoma is he didn't bring any transfers with him from Clemson. So what BV's goal was to be the quote-unquote bigger, better person and not let players leave from a program that he's going from to be a head coach, even players that he had, recruited and trained and developed, now allowing them to follow him to Oklahoma. That's the reason why you didn't see any Clemson kids, come with him. Now, of course, there were always these rumors around that, some wanted to come, and I believe some of them. I believe a lot of the reports that said that some of the Clemson kids wanted to join Brent Venables. A lot of them just love BV. And him not bringing that is, to me, the first step that led to the big issues you ran into. Because as he was developing on the defensive side of the ball, it took him a couple of years to really filter through the players with what transfers he could bring in to give us the defense we had this season. It took him 3 years to literally get the defense at this point. The unfortunate thing for the defense this past year is that the offense wasn't competent enough to be able to help them out to where the defense could have been better. But the defense finished top 10 in efficiency, number 19 in total defense in the country, without actually having an offense, which ranked in the bottom, like 130th in the country in offense. So that tells you a lot, right? It tells you a lot that, okay, BV came in and did the one thing he was supposed to do, which was turn around the defense, but it did nothing but hinder the offense. If he had brought in a lot of those transfers, we probably wouldn't have seen the fall off on the defense, on the offensive side of the ball like we did. And you may be wondering, Jay, how does that compute or go together? Well, if your defense is good the first couple of years, you're probably bringing in additional more talent a lot earlier. And the team is performing at a lot higher level. So you're not going to get a 6-7 season his first year if you bring in some of your top defenders that want to come, not poached, but decide that they want to transfer. That will lead to that. That's the one thing I feel like Brent Venables made the biggest mistake coming in, is that he did not allow those players to join him. Now, we'll never know if it's true or not, but like I said, based upon the reports that we've all heard, I believe majority of them, it made sense. A lot of those kids loved him. You heard players talk about him a lot. Now, the way he's going to fix it is starting with coaching and guys that can recruit. Let's talk about that. But first, shout out to our partners at BetUS. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. And if you check it out, John Mateer, our offensive guy. He's sitting out here at plus 1,800 on BetUS. They're the highest that I've seen of any of the other sites. Most have him in the plus 2,500 range. So there's good value out there if you want to take John Mateer to, be out there for the Heisman. This is about the range where typically someone wins it. Usually very rarely the favorites actually win the Heisman. We saw last year with Travis Hunter. He was rated pretty low. I think he's in like the 4,000 range initially, or 8,000 range. And he, of course, streaked up all the way and became Heisman Trophy winner. So if you want to get in on this action, you can. BetUS is going to hook you up. 150% bonus on the first deposit, 125% bonus on the second and third up to $2,000 by using our promo code YouTube150. So check it out, BetUS, where the game begins. So now Brent Venables has made some hires. We talked about this a little bit on the live stream, but I want to give more context, especially because we talked about it also on Locked On Sooners with me and John. Check us out. We're here on YouTube as well, all Sooner stuff, especially as we're expanding this channel even more. But BV first made some additions on defense because he was making taking a shot at Jim Knowles. Did not work out. Makes sense too, by the way. Jim Knowles was probably coming to Oklahoma until Penn State opened up, which is, he's from Philly, born and raised, in the state of Pennsylvania. Penn State is life there, and growing up, that's where he wanted to get to. Now he's able to get back home and get back to at least the place he wanted to play as a kid. So it made sense for him to take that job. So he brings in Nate Dreiling as well as Wes Goodwin. So Wes was just recently let go at Clemson. Let me explain what that means for us all. But he brought in Nate, who was over at Arkansas State as the defensive coordinator underneath Butch Jones. And he took the job after being interim head coach at Utah State. Went over there and immediately took the job at Oklahoma inside linebackers. And then you've got Wes Goodwin, who's taking the assistant linebacker role, outside linebacker coach. And what Brent Venables was doing here is he decided to go ahead and take over calling the plays on defense. Now, I know y'all been hearing about this while I was out on vacation, taking some time off. But it makes sense that BV would do this. And where this helps him is Nate and Wes are going to be able to recruit linebackers. I enjoyed Zach Alley as defensive coordinator. I was pretty excited about him. But he didn't bring in a single recruit while he was here. So now you have Nate and Wes, whose job is to do that at linebacker and really develop those guys. We've got veterans in there. Now you need to bring in some young players to go with them. And I think that they'll be able to do that. This is one way that he's going to be able to fix it, especially bringing in Wes, who is a noted, very good recruiter. Just go look at the list of guys that he's recruited over the years. We'll talk about that another day. But this is a big pickup. Nate is young. Similar to what you get out of Zach Alley. He's someone that can be groomed to run this defense the way Brent Venables likes it and could potentially become the next guy in line if things work out properly. But this gives Oklahoma 4 guys that have coached at defensive coordinator, who's run the position of defensive coordinator somewhere as like the main play caller. That's pretty big, which means that Brent Venables in game planning won't be having to do it by himself. He has now a full staff of dudes that really can. Ty Bates is getting his experience. Same thing with Jay Valai. This is a pretty big move, personally. So from there, Goodwin, who comes in and had some great runs with BV at Clemson, will do nothing but add additional value on that side. Now you may be saying, Jay, the problem wasn't on defense. It was on offense. That's 100% correct. That's where the Kevin Wilson hire comes in. We talked about that on Locked On Sooners this morning. Talked about it on the live on Sunday a little bit. Me and Coop did. But one other thing I really thought about when it came to the Kevin Wilson hiring is that Ben Arbuckle is now really going to have to be the CEO of the offensive side of the ball. All good CEOs have a strong C-suite around them and advisors that are there to help in guidance in things that they're not very versed in. Let me explain. A lot of CEOs are not CFOs, CMOs, CTOs. That's not what they do. Most CEOs are there to oversee all of it, but still have, forward vision, be good at play calling and understanding how the business should go. or they're very good at one of the many facets of being C-suite. They're good at marketing. They're good at technology. They're good at engineering. They're good at sales. Ben's going to run all the offense, period. But the one thing that Ben's going to have to get used to is not only play calling and design, but also time management. Kevin Wilson may have not been the most successful head coach out there, but he had some good runs in Indiana at a program that was really bad. His last 2 years there, he went to bowl games, and the Indiana brass felt like it wasn't enough. They needed to do more. So he ended up going over to Ohio State, worked with Ryan Day. But he also was the OC here when Sam Bradford won Heisman. He was also a co-OC here when Jason White won the Heisman. So you're bringing in a guy that has experience in not only running offenses that can be the tops in the country, set records. I mean, remember, that Sam Bradford team set the record for most points per game and yards, all kinds of stuff. I mean, Sam threw for, 50 touchdowns in that year. He has the experience of coaching Heisman Trophy winners. He has the experience of running these offenses against SEC, Big Ten, all of that. Ben Arbuckle, as young as he is, now has another brand that he can leverage, while also giving Brent Venables an advanced scout, similar to what he had when he had Matt Wells here. Same thing he had with Kevin Johns. And, from there, that's what Kevin Wilson's going to be able to provide. Not only advanced scouting of other teams, from an offensive mind, talking to a defensive mind, but also he'll be able to give guidance to what Ben Arbuckle's going to be doing, running that offense basically on his own. So it just gives you someone additional to lean on. So how, you may be asking now, how does this fix the sins of the first couple of years? Well, the good thing is that the staff really likes their recruiting classes. They like the players that they have. They like the options they have to play. And because of that, there's a good chance you're going to see a lot of these, basically all the players that we're going to be playing are ones that we actually recruited in comparison to ones that they're bringing as transfers. Similar to the way Clemson is looking this year, they're considered one of the top teams in the country because, Dabo and them have focused on their recruits. Oklahoma did the same. Now it's all about them coming to fruition, which I expect. We just got to hope it happens. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. I know I love to hear from you all. I'm back so I can go through the comments. We can chit-chat back and forth and all of that. And if you subscribed, of course, I'll see those at the top and we'll really be able to chop it up. You made this far, like the content, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'd love for y'all to join this family of Sooner fans talking OU football, SEC, and college football in general. Having a blast doing it. The SEC is making some big, bold changes. We'll jump into another video on that soon. I got a whole bunch of videos to catch up on because it's been a bit, so we'll be chopping it up. Shout out to our partners over there at BetUS. They're hooking you up. 150% bonus on the first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. And I will talk to all of you. A couple of days. Recruiting is going down. So we're going to talk about that. Peace.